Okay. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome to the conversation. And we are on here basically just to we want to start a conversation. We are just two people. We're not experts. We're just two people who've been through life and had multiple experiences in life, and we just wanted to share our perspectives. He has a very, very good male perspective, and I've learned from him so much, and so I wanted to share what I've learned from him, to other women, because I feel like there is a missing link. There's a lot of videos out there talking about relationships and how men perceive relationships, but we speak two different languages, and women don't always understand fully what they're trying to say. So
Absolutely.
I feel like I've learned a lot from him asking different questions, and I wanted to come on here from a woman's perspective and a male's perspective to give our opinion. So if we could just help one person to understand the male and female dynamic, not just male female, just relationship dynamic, then we've done our part.
Absolutely. And again, it's about reality versus perception. So again, she and I, we talk a lot about different situations and scenarios on life. And, she asked me for my input and come to find out, a lot of the things that, from a male perspective, a lot of women probably don't know. So we thought it was a great idea to come on here and discuss some of those values and views and things based on from a male's perspective.
So our first video is going to be about
reality versus perception.
Okay. So basically, there is a reality versus how we're perceived. So initially, when you meet someone, a man places a woman in categories when he initially sees her and when he initially has a conversation with her. So when women come off as, let's talk about how women dress. If we are dressed a certain way, we're going to be viewed, we're going to be perceived a certain way. That
Absolutely.
may not be our character, that may not be what we was trying to come off as, but the reality is we're dressed very provocative. The first thing man's going to think of is what?
Sex.
Because he sees what?
Sex.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the reality of the situation.
And that may be really old schoolish, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember my grandmother saying stuff like that. Baby, don't dress like that. Don't do this. Blah blah blah. But there's still a lot of truth to it, and women feel like we can wear whatever we want to wear. We bought boobs now. We buy hair. We buy butts. We want to show it off. That's all great.
And they're still buying breasts or buttocks, whatever they may be. There's still perception. You want to be perceived as I'm beautiful because I got breasts. I want to be perceived as I'm fine because I got a behind, or whatever they may be. So everybody's looking for a perception, of themselves. So the reality is, again, if you're looking for a mate, you want to try to figure out what's the reality of how this person perceives you, especially if you're looking for a mate. And it's so important because the introduction is very important. People don't understand.
Your first contact with someone.
Absolutely.
Even on social media, we know nowadays most people, we're old school, so we still like meeting people. But nowadays, most people are meeting people on social media. And so a guy can see someone across the room or at the mall or at the store, whatever, even these young kids, and they'll go on her or his social media page and DM them. Try to holler at them through social media. But however you are being perceived on social media, you got your tight clothes on, you got your cleavage out, you got your butt cheeks out. Men are still going to perceive that as you're a little loose.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on what you were just saying, if you go on any social media site, even the dating sites, women want the males to have 6, 7, 8 pictures because you want to see what his attire looks like. You want to see how he dressed, what his body looks like. You want to perceive him a certain way too. There's just the reality of the situation. Everybody wants to see you a certain way.
You want likes, you want thumbs up, you want all that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just know you can't be upset. women, I'm going to say this from a woman's perspective because I'm a woman, that's the only perspective I know. As women, we can't be upset when men constantly approach us trying to have sex with us because how we're dressed, how we're perceived, how we're coming off on social media, how we're walking, our attire is that we are wearing on a day in and day out.
Right. Do a self-study on that and see how many men that you generally would just approach you when you have a certain attire on, and change that attire up to where it's a little bit not as much revealing, and you'll start seeing that their approach is totally different.
Right. Men are hunters. They want to hunt.
Absolutely.
They want, and then that's something else that we had talked about too, is that a man doesn't want, he may initially approach you and like you before what you have on. However, he's not going to bring you around his homeboys. He's not going to bring you around his family. He don't want other people to look at you and think sex either, because you're constantly wearing revealing clothing.
Right. And you're going to start finding things to be more disrespectful. Now, the reality of the situation is what's near and dear to him. Now, you can be, in theory, what some people may deem as hoish to a man, and he'll bring you around his friends because that's not near and dear to him. He can care nothing about you, and he bring you around his friends. So
that's true.
The reality of the situation is, by asking the right questions, you'll know what the reality of how he perceives you. And I know the question you might want to be asking is, well, how do I go about not allowing a man to see me a certain way? The best thing is about how you ask questions. Talk less and more about yourself and more so about scenarios. You're going to go down the wrong rabbit hole if you start discussing the person's past, because they're generally going to lie.
Yeah, like questions like, well, what happened in your last relationship? How long was y'all together? Why did that relationship fall apart?
Absolutely.
You don't want to ask those questions because, truth be told, a man is not going to tell you 100% of the truth. If he was at fault or anything that paints him in a negative light, he's going to skew it to make him look better, right?
Right. So the questions you might want to ask is like, what is marriage material to you?
What does marriage look like to you?
Yeah, what does marriage look like to you?
Or what do you think of people who cheat?
Absolutely.
What do you consider a long-term relationship as?
Yeah. What is
like scenario questions?
Yeah.
Like you're not asking him specifically, or he's not asking her specifically. Like, well, what happened in your last relationship? Or what do you think of your mama? And, well, her mama was this and her mama that. We don't want to know the specifics because, to be honest with you, the specifics doesn't matter because your situation is going to be totally different with that person if you do get to a relationship.
Absolutely. And they just say if you're a woman, you don't want children, or you don't want to date a man who has kids.
You don't say that.
You don't say that. Yeah, of course.
You just ask, like, what do you think of children?
Yeah, what do you think of children? Because generally, if you came right out the box and he thinks you're attractive and he wants to get to know you, he's going to lie about the number of kids he has, or if he got kids at all,
or if he even want kids,
or even if he want kids. And the reason why he's going to do that is because he wants to show you what life is like being with him. Even though he has children, he wants to show you what life will be like being with him. So later on, he'll bring the children along the way because you've been with him for a while. You'd be like, well, that wasn't too bad. I didn't know it wouldn't be that bad, but now he didn't got you in, and he didn't lie. Now you got to overcome this lie, and hopefully you'll stay.
Let's talk about also how if a man perceives you, puts you in a box, if he sees you as a little hoish or a little loose woman, he's gonna initially just want to smash, and he may be with you, he may lie to, he's gonna lie to you, he's gonna tell you everything you want to hear just so he can get what he wants.
Yep.
And then when he gets tired of you, it's gonna fall apart and he's gonna be gone. So let's go to the whole women stop talking so much. Like when you meet a guy, like first conversation, first date, first whatever. You meet him at the bar, you meet him restaurant, whatever. Women have a tendency to blab too much. We tell, oh, this is what I'm looking for. I want a man that's this. I want a man that's that.
Absolutely.
I'm looking for this in life. This is what I want in life. Don't do that. Just have a conversation. Do the scenario questions like we were discussing, and he will reveal himself.
Absolutely. And in the initial introduction, that first date, y'all actually have a full conversation. You're asking some good scenario questions in relation to the questions you actually really want to know. He'll tell you in an introduction. They'll tell you the truth about scenarios versus themselves.
So if a woman be like, well, I want to be married within the next year, or let me say this. I've done this myself to where I won't tell a guy I want to be married because I didn't want to be married. But a guy at a certain age, if you're a woman and you're dating at a certain age, men will just automatically assume that you want the fairy tale. So they'll say, well, where do you see yourself in 10 years? They'll ask a woman that. Or if a woman asks a man that, you know, a man will be like, well, I want to be married. I'm looking forward to coming in, man. I want to be married. I want to have, you know, another kid. Because he feels that that's what you want.
Right.
And that may not be what you want, but he's just trying to sell you a dream to get what he wants.
Absolutely.
He may not want no relationship with you. He just want to hit it and quit and be gone. But you'll never know that because we have to, women, stop lying to ourselves and really listen to what a man is saying. You know, I had a situation previously where a male, and it was a group of friends, he said he's not at a place in his life where he can commit to a woman. And I was like, well, I don't understand that. Why? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm a woman because I think he's a decent guy. Like, why don't you want to be in a serious committed relationship? But that was his choice was he's not at a place right now where he wants to be in a committed relationship. Well, he had someone else, a female, totally ignored what he said and went off of what he did, meaning he took her out, they hung out, he was acting like they was in a committed relationship, he was there for her, he was there for her kids, he did all this stuff like he was in a committed relationship, but at the end of the day, she still got hurt because she was like, I don't understand why he doesn't want to be with me. He told you in the beginning.
And the introduction, that's the reason why it's so important.
In the beginning, he told you he is not at a good place to be in a relationship. But we as women lie to ourselves and say, well, I can change him. Well, he said that, but best before he met me.
Or the sex will get him. Or even a baby will make you stay. Babies will not make men stay.
Babies will not make men commit. It may make him stay, but he's not going to commit. That's a whole nother video about people cheating and why they cheat and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But
going back to the perspective and the reality of it is that the introduction is so vital to starting off. If a man tells you any kind of saying of that nature, that he just kind of like want to be friends right now and I'm not really looking for a relationship, I just want to hang out, but he'll add on this little thing on the back end and
if it was the right woman.
Yeah, if
he'll
it's
say
the right
stuff
woman,
like that. If I meet the right woman.
Or if it happens, it happens. But right now, I'm not looking for no relationship.
We don't deserve if it happens, it happens. We want you to know for sure that I'm what you want. And if a man is for you, he gonna show you 110% that you what he wants.
That's a disrespect in itself because he's disrespecting you by wasting your time. Because if you're looking for a relationship and he's telling you, I'm going to waste your time by telling you I'm not looking for a relationship, and you choose to do it anyway, that's a disservice to you because you're looking for a relationship and he's trying to basically use wordplay to suggest, give me your time. And usually women fall into that trap because they'll be like...
That's the reality versus perception. The reality is he's lying to you to get whatever he wants out of the situation. The perception is, oh, he's trying to be in a relationship with me. He really wants me because he's doing all this stuff to commit to me.
Like, why did he get my number if he didn't want to be in a relationship? Why he on the phone with me giving me his time if he didn't want to be in a relationship?
And he buying you all kinds of stuff
and he doing stuff. That doesn't mean nothing to a male. We'll do anything to get what we want. The two most important things to a male is money and sex. People will say, well, you would think family would be important. No, family is not important either. We'll do anything for money and sex. Anything.
Wow.
We'll leave our families to go be with another woman for money and sex.
Wow, there you have it, ladies.
So,
that's the tea.
You know, don't get yourself in a rabbit hole, and don't feel as though you're being quote unquote thirsty by allow a man to say to you, I just want to be friends, and you really want a relationship. Don't go down that rabbit hole. If a man tells you just want to be friends, that is the truth.
Yes.
He will never want to be in a relationship with you, because if a man want to be in a relationship,
he only sees you as a friend. If he says he just wants to be friends, he only sees you as friend potential.
That's it.
That's it. Now, if you open your legs to him, he gonna take it.
He ain't gonna treat you like a friend. He gonna smash you. But don't go down that road thinking you are thirsty because you don't want to seem thirsty. You really think he's cute, he's fine, and he told you he just want to be friends, and you just want to see what happens. Don't go down there. If the man tells you that, or what was you saying? The gentleman said.
Oh well, I'm not at a place where I could be in a committed relationship.
If you tell
and I've also heard this. I don't make enough money right now to commit to a good woman.
Any of that. Don't.
I've heard it all, baby.
Do it. Don't do it.
I've heard it all.
Because if a man wants you,
he gonna show it.
He will never say none of the above. He's not gonna say I just want to be friends. He's not gonna say that. He's not gonna say anything. He gonna say I want you. I want to be in a relationship with you.
He gonna show it.
He gonna show you with his actions. And women, this is one other thing too. Please stop going off what men say. You cannot usually always judge a man by his actions. We might not necessarily tell you we love you every day, but you can measure that based on our actions. And based on another thing we was talking about, the actions of, again, don't ask about the person's past. Ask scenario questions. They'll tell you about the person. So
we're going to wrap this up. We don't want this video to be way too long so people won't, like, I don't know, whatever. Tell us your perspective.
Absolutely.
Tell us, what do you think some of the few questions that men and women should ask each other in the initial getting to know each other phase? And we're talking about trying to get to know each other for relationship purposes, not I'm trying to smash.
So you can actually
get to know that person.
Have a strong
foundation
on how the person really perceives you, and you don't have a perspective of you thinking this person perceives you a certain way. You'll know the actual reality.
Yeah, so give us your ideas, your take on it. Let us know, are we right? Are we wrong? Or were we totally off base?
Absolutely, we want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, we want to hear your thoughts. So we'll be back again with another video
on The Conversations.
Bye.
Bye-bye.